Welcome to my ramblings again. I'm here with my Yamaha keyboard that I barely know how to play, and I just feel like I have something to say tonight that essentially when I turn down my piano so it doesn't bother the neighbors. Not that much. That essentially I feel like this is the perfect fidget kind of thing device. And it also gives a soundtrack to what I'm saying, so it makes it sound emotionally resonating or resonant. So, what am I going to talk about today? I feel like I've been coming across a lot of videos that have this idea that, and I think this is very typical of the self-help kind of and spirituality sphere, is that the title of the video is oh, you're meant to see this video. This video showed up in your timeline because you needed to see it, and you can click away from this. You don't need to see this. I mean, and a lot of the time, most videos on YouTube, you really don't need to see. So it's what are we doing with ourselves in our time? What kind of digest are we, or diet, informationally, are we allowing to steer our ship? It's almost like someone who drinks a lot of caffeine like I do, and then just kind of thinks that my body can handle it, or someone like myself, again, prime example. It's 3 o'clock in the morning and I stay up all night playing piano, trying to stay quiet. That's why the video's quiet. But I have to do something. I have to be productive, I guess. And I just think my body's going to be able to handle it forever, right? I'm made out of the right stuff or something that I can withstand any kind of treatment I treat my body with. I mean, it's not really on my mind, but again, we're losing touch with reality, as I always do. Losing the plot. One sec. I need to press this key. Okay, there we go. I'm back on track. What I'm saying is our diet. Like people that tell us that we have reached said destination in our life and that their product or their words of advice are gonna somehow guide us magically sometimes towards where we need to be. And that's kind of, if you like that kind of stuff, like I think human beings need a certain amount of magic and tomfoolery, goofing around to make life interesting, without spoiling anything or revealing too much of my mental state. It's like sometimes life can be really bleak. And sometimes life doesn't necessarily have an outright meaning. And that's okay. I mean, you may have a different view or perspective on life, but right now I feel just like a biological mass of flesh and bone and all that and sinew that is really being deliberately driven by my own neurochemical reaction to provide myself with dopamine, serotonin, all the neurotransmitters that I need in order to make myself not keel over and want to go places that we're not going to go on this video. And essentially, I really think that like if this is all I have, then I might as well enjoy myself. I might as well have some fun along the way. So like things like junk food and treating myself poorly, I almost feel like I can't argue with that perspective of just like treating your body like an amusement park to some degree. But then you have to realize that what we put into our body truly affects how we feel. And that includes information, that includes belief systems that we uphold in our mind. It's like, I think personally, if you have to continually find evidence to suggest that something isn't false, then I don't know, in my opinion, it's probably leaning more towards false. But maybe I'm way off the mark. I have no idea. It's 3 a.m. and I'm playing piano in an Opeth shirt. And my cat's sitting over there sleeping. If she can sleep, I think other people can sleep. I used to live in a party house. It was the Nightmare on Cedar Hill. And we would play loud, abrasive music into the night. I still was able to sleep, so that was a lot of alcohol, a lot of anxiety and mental health issues, living with turbulent individuals that I love, but story for another time. I found that as much as I like experimenting and trying different things in life, I think I just delude myself into thinking that those substances are more than what they are. I mean, they're an intense experience, and maybe that's overshadowing their importance, really, because life, I think, at its fullest and its most awe-inspiring is not about any extreme kind of feeling, any kind of extreme stimulation. Really, that's the stuff that you forget, right? The things that we remember, like say if someone's on stimulants, they don't remember the stimulants themselves most of the time. The feeling that it gives you, the rush or whatever. They think about the conversation they had. They think about the video game that they were playing, that they were doing so well and being in the zone and experiencing, right? Whatever it is, whatever they were experiencing, the memory, the feeling. And I think sometimes even such a light, benign substance like green tea or black tea or whatever, the caffeine that we get from that and other antioxidants and stuff, it's not worth shaming ourselves thinking that we didn't do something perfectly or that we had some kind of a chemical I guess carrier or some kind of vessel that brought us to an understanding. It's like, we live in a society where shame is the game. Shame. We think it's the best way to, motivate people for change. A lot of the time, though, that's not the case. Maybe it works for some people, but in my experience, the way I understand the world is by picking it apart and finding the context, finding the reason behind everything, like the scientific method. The building blocks, the fundamentals behind everything, how things work, the physics of it. If that is even something I should mutter, because I'm not even really a mathematician or scientist or in that respect. But if I understand the mechanics of something, then it's much easier for me to understand it, like a game mechanic. Like, say if you play Call of Duty for a long time, you're really gelling with that game physics, the game engine, or whatever. Or you're playing a sport, and you're like, oh, so this is how I play basketball. These are the reliable physics, and if I have an understanding of them, then it's really on me when I mess up. I don't know where I'm going. I'm off topic now. Lost in the weeds. Mulligan and a half. Brain fart. But if you're comfortable with that, I think the number one thing is like with this, as I'm playing the piano, I'm learning how to use my left hand because I am a beginner, but the difference between me and a lot of other beginners is that I'm not pressuring myself to play like a specific person. I'm doing it at my pace. I'm finding through muscle memory, through discovery, I'm finding out what works. And people have said to me that I learned the hard way. I have to understand something through my own experience. And there's no shame in that. Maybe that's what I was getting at. Is like, some people learn differently. Some people are affected by this chronic societal shame in a manner where we feel it's a personal failing that we do something that society has decided is morally bankrupt or whatever. When if you think about morally bankrupt things, there's so much worse you could do, right? Drugs are the least morally bankrupt thing, in my opinion. I think that, like, people may, go off the rails and do, regrettable things, but that's not, it's not really them. And the more you shame people in this cycle, the more they'll go back to the drugs, because the shame itself was the original thing that they were trying to get away from with the drugs themselves, right? And that's why it's a repeated cycle, is because the one thing that they're trying to get away from is what society continuously shovels into their system over and over again. And it's like, it's not fair, really. People, and this shouldn't be taboo, I think, in my opinion. People should be like, wow, you shouldn't have to hide your feelings or your opinion about drugs. You wanted fast solutions. You wanted something that was going to get you out of your head so you could have time to think about it, ponder, and perhaps, then you could look back and change the things in your head. It wasn't a one-size-all solution for all of it. It was just a band-aid for your mind or whatever, right? And of course, the thing that really drives it to being a problem is moderation, right? Some people, they see something that works even slightly, and the moderation goes out the window. If this is working good right now, what about a whole bunch of it? And you just forget about, like, time escapes you, and you just kind of go beyond what your body is capable of facilitating. But back to this whole shame thing, I think that, like, morally bankrupt things like abusing other people and having the knowledge that you're doing that, but not stopping, not considering another person's empathy, swindling someone, stealing from them for personal gain in a way that doesn't care about another person's humanity, depending on the person. person, I mean, that's pretty bad. The poor stealing from the poor is not really something we should aspire to, especially when the rich steal from us so often, right? Yeah, just thoughts of a haywire mind at 3 o'clock in the morning. Is it 3:30, 3:16? That's cool. That clock is off. Anyways, I feel like that's about enough. I feel like I've rambled on enough, but if you feel at ease that there's another person out there that's as crazy as you, please join me on my channel. There's more boring talks with pianos and all that stuff. There's that third of encounters again. Alright. Yeah, dude. I've heard many people don't subscribe to channels. I subscribe to too many. When I see something I like, I immediately like it and I subscribe because I know that has a lot of weight on YouTube. But it's up to you. Maybe you're not in a position where you can like or subscribe, but consider it for the future. I'm going to try to add value to your life, to my own life. Maybe it's just going to only add value to my own life, but maybe this connection, this one-on-one that we're having, or one-on-many, or whatever, maybe it, again, allows you to get from one place to the next. Maybe my insights didn't occur to you. Maybe my insights really resonates with you. I don't know. I can't be 100% sure, but I'm gonna give it to the world because I think it would be selfish not to. Yeah. I hope you have a wonderful day and stay frosty. That's my catchphrase. Midnight Bandit. Out. No, it's off button. There we go.